Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let me tell you, it's like feast or famine with the WNBA. This was not a day to have a nasty headache, not a migraine, but just a nasty headache that slows you down. Because I could have dropped 15 videos today. Oh, anyway, hope you're having a fantastic day. Did I say that already? And shout out to the 19. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. So they have addressed some of the, there's some of the fallout from the Fever Sun, players hit with fines. I think Sophie got, I don't know, it's tough to tell. I thought maybe she got multiple fines because she gets a fine for the flagrant, and then it sounded like she got an additional fine, which we'll look at. But we also had this, and again, this actually isn't helpful for me. Like, I'm tired of this stuff. Marina Mabrey's technical from last night's Fever Sun game has been upgraded to a flagrant 2. The league told ESPN a flagrant 2 comes from a standard fine. See, it says additionally, Sophie Cunningham was fined separately for her hard foul with 46 seconds to play. No players will be suspended. I'm not sure if that means that because Sophie got a flagrant 2 and was ejected. So I'm not sure what they mean by fined separately, since that automatically has a fine. But anyway, if the referees, who are absolutely just beyond terrible, have no business being anywhere near a basketball game, if they had done their job, well, first of all, they had done their job, it wouldn't even have escalated to that point. But if they had done their job right then and Marina Mabrey was tossed out of the game, maybe some of the other stuff doesn't happen. That's the big issue. A lot of people talk about consistency, and it's also being control the game. And I can tell you, both as a coach, as a player, you just see it. When you see the tone set early where players get away with things, referees don't call them. They set the tone for the game. And all it's going to do is things are going to get worse and worse and worse. You actually had the announcers even talking about that as well. So it was just this entire thing. As much as we can say, well, JC Sheldon was being dirty, Marina Mabrey is a dirty player, all well and good and all true. But if officials do their jobs, these things don't happen, or they don't happen as often. And when they do, that means they usually just blow up and it's an instant thing. This is stuff that was built throughout the game because the referees had no control over the game whatsoever. They sent the signal to the teams that, hey, we're not going to worry about it. We're okay with the Fever getting beat up. We're okay with Caitlin Clark getting beat up. No matter how dirty you're going to be, we are not really going to punish you. Um, so you had some fines. Uh, Now, yet, see, this is Cunningham wrapped Sheldon up as she went up for a layup in transition, sending her to the floor. Uh, by the way, and I think I'll do it. I'll do it in another video, but I'll set you up now. That was an offensive foul on J.C. Sheldon that wasn't called. Just saying. I'll show you the video proof in another video. I got a video coming on Sophie. There's some things I want to talk about there that's separate from this. But you know, basic reporting, and I've said this before, just out the window, folks. Look, no one's perfect. I get things wrong. Never intending to, though, and you all call me out, and that's great. I always try and do my best. When Sheldon stood up, she beeline for Cunningham, who proceeded to grab Sheldon by the back of the head as Allen attempted to intervene. Allen was actually went and got to Cunningham first. She didn't go to intervene with J.C. Sheldon. She was first to arrive. It's like right on the video. But anyway, like I said, Cunningham was assessed a flagrant 2 in the moment and was an ejection, which comes with a standard fine. See, there it is. Now they're saying the WN conferred from Office of Sports that Cunningham received an additional fine the following day. Okay, so here's my question. For what? I don't think she should have been thrown out, but what the heck did she do? She got fined for that. What did Sophie Cunningham do to get an additional fine? That's the type of stuff that leagues, especially when you have a league as ridiculous as the WNBA, you have got to be upfront with these things because people have a lot of questions. They start going down rabbit holes. Conspiracy theories start popping up because guess what? It turns out a lot of the conspiracy theories end up being true. And to this point, this is 100% true. The tensions between both teams, which went unchecked by officials, began escalating earlier in the game. 100%. Now, it was even before Sheldon was assessed the flagrant 1, but that definitely elevated it. And then when they went to the replay and spent 3.5 hours at the replay and they come back and they still get it wrong, and Marina Mabrey does not get a flagrant 2, that is absolutely ridiculous. No idea. No one has any idea why Caitlin Clark was assessed a technical. She got hit in the eye. She's walking away. JC Sheldon follows and bodies her up, and Caitlin just kind of like pushes her to get separation. Then she's walking away again, not looking. And Marina Mabrey basically sucker punches, although it wasn't a punch, but she comes up and slams Caitlin Clark to the ground. And in that sequence of getting hit 3 different times, Caitlin Clark receives a technical foul. And again, I'm going to be fair. I didn't see anything in there where Tina Charles should have gotten a technical foul either. That just shows you how unbelievably bad these officials really, really are. Now, Steph White had some things to say that I want to listen to about the officiating. It'll be very interesting to see. As of now, she has not been fined. The other coach had some things to say, which we're going to address as well because it's ridiculous. But she has not been fined, which is good to hear. But let's hear what she has to say about this.
I'll take the official questions. There wasn't an explanation for the tech that she got. I think it was.
That as it's cut off from this video, but that was asking about the Caitlin Clark technical, right? Because no one has any idea why Caitlin Clark got a technical for being assaulted.
Pretty obvious that stuff was brewing, right? When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game. It's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect.
Well, now don't get crazy on me. What's going on here?
Fierce competition.
Okay.
So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better. They got to be better.
Can you specifically detail what you mean by get control of the game, just to be?
Before she gets into that, look, I will say this. I think Stephanie White, and look, there's a lot you can't do, and I get that you don't want to be demonstrative, so everyone watching on TV and the fans all know she may very well have been working the official all game as she should. The only thing in this case, it was so egregious. It was so bad, especially when Marina Mabrey only got the flagrant one and not tossed out of the game. That right there, I would have liked to seen Stephanie do something to purposely get a technical foul. As crazy as that sounds, coaches do that at times. I've even seen where it's been caught on film where coaches warn an official, hey, look, I'm going to need you to give me a technical here in a minute, okay? I'm gonna come at you. Because these are just certain things that you do to change momentum, motivate players, whatever it is. I would have but as hard as I've been on her, I would say she's 100% right in what she is saying here, as I said before. And I've seen it. You see it a lot as I've seen it a lot as a player. I think I notice it more in the overall environment and vibe as a coach watching, from the sidelines. Say, all right, this is going to be a bad one today. Like, 2 minutes into a game. Yeah, this is going to be a bad one today. I got to warn my players. I got to talk to them about how they handle what's going to happen because it's going to deteriorate. And it's exactly what happened. It is a surprise to no one who is involved in sports that what happened is what happened. The league needs to get control of this.
In your words.
Get control of the game is call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor.
100%.
Consistently call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor. Okay, not just if somebody swings and misses, right? Consistently call the fouls.
Coach, do you think it's something pertaining to your team, or do you think it's a league-wide issue?
Well, I've seen quite a few dust-ups in the league so far, so I think it's a league-wide issue. I mean, bad officiating is bad officiating.
And then what did you make of Sophie Cunningham's flagrant foul on JC towards the end?
It was a flagrant foul.
Do you think it's like defending Caitlin or defending the team, or how do you view just how it all?
I view it as a flagrant foul.
I don't think Stephanie thought it was a flagrant foul. I would have liked to have. I would have liked to have heard more on that last part about the defending, since we haven't seen much of that from the Fever. But the vibe I get, and again, from someone who's coached, obviously not at this level, but there's a lot of similar experiences. They're just not as big or as talented. But that to me is a coach who does not believe it was a flagrant foul. But she had said enough with the officiating. She's hoping she got away with all that, and she didn't want to come out directly, specifically to that one instance. So, kudos to Stephanie White for this. And to be fair, it is absolutely we all know, more targeted at the Indiana Fever, but it is true 100% that the officiating has been absolutely hairy butt side around the entire league, right? I mean, we had, that's how you get stuff like this with Angel and the pulling of the hair and then her going crazy and then this and then the push and all that. And you had not that long ago, Dejanay Carrington yanking the hair of another player when she was going down to the ground. Like, it is a mess across the entire league, 100%. The one other thing I wanted to talk about though, because this irked me a little bit. I mean, you gotta have some cojones to come out and say the correct thing, because you had the coach of the Connecticut Sun. Where is it? Yeah, I did not understand when you were winning the game by 17 points and you were doing this to me. Stupid foul. This is just disrespectful. It's just disrespectful to do that foul when you're winning the game by 17 points. Completely stupid. I can't disagree more. This is absolutely an asinine take. You are a never mind. I'm not even gonna go there with it. But you had J.C. Sheldon with last game. We know what happened, or in the preseason game, we know what happened there with multiple issues. And you had this game. You had the poking in Caitlin Clark's eye and all of that. And why? Here's the question: why do you have J.C. Sheldon in the game after everything that happened in a blowout with 46 seconds left? That is the question. I don't care what the score is. You're going to drive to the basket like that. Yeah, especially with the behavior that you've had and gotten away with lately, you should expect a hard foul. But by the way, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, okay. So I want you all to watch something, just because I think this is important, because this is an angle I hadn't seen before that I think everyone needs to take a look at. This is an offensive foul, folks. Here we go. Boom. See that direct turn to the left? Yeah, then Sophie took her down, but this is the same exact thing that Sabrina did. What? And hard step to the left, throws her shoulder into Sophie Cunningham. So, coach of the Connecticut Sun, that is a foul on your player. That is an offensive foul on your player. You're down 17 with 46 seconds left. You've been a dirty player. You were a dirty player last time you played. Why are you throwing your shoulder into a player in that situation? I think that is the question that needs to be asked. But yeah, so I'm glad to see Steph White get out there and make these comments, and hopefully something happens. I mean, the league upgrading to a flagrant 2 for Mabry, I hope it's not for effect, right? Kennedy Carter went from a regular foul to a flagrant 1 in that game last year, but the stuff has to start being called in the game. Okay, this after stuff once in a while to correct an egregious mistake is one thing, but everyone knew when it happened that it was the wrong call. You cannot have an entire crew of officials with replay get the most basic calls wrong, especially ones that are escalating play in a game that could have an adverse effect and cause injury to players on the court. Absolutely ridiculous. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking out this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know the drill. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.